about our country and our culture, to let them know about our country more. And what we're trying to do now is we're trying to tell other people, tell the world about what we do and why we need to get out into the world.
Yeah, thank you. So as you can see, the thing is they meet with many different people from different countries, and that's why I would ask you for the so-called cultural feedback. That what do you think could be a good addition after you heard the presentation? What would be interesting for Uzbekistani tourists or from countries around? Because, for example, I'll just tell one example. Many Filipinos are interested in the floor heating system because their houses are totally different. So, similarly like this, some small tricks that that you think that, well, if an Uzbekistani tourist comes, this might be a good point, to also discuss. Okay, so without further talking, who will be the first?
Agriculture Co. And today I'm going to introduce about the Joseon, which is a country that was in Korean Peninsula in 1392 to 1910. And especially we are going to, and I'm going to introduce about the commerce system and the tradesmen during the Joseon dynasty. And first I'm going to introduce you about the Confucianism, which was a national ideology of Joseon. And second, the agriculture, which was the main business. It was related from the studies by Master Kong, also known as Confucius. And he said that the main thing that the Confucianism tells you is the relationship. And these 5 things are the things that they thought important during the relationship between the people and the people. And this Confucianism, Korean peoples received this Confucianism and made a new type of Confucianism called the Korean Confucianism. And this is the basic of the Korean Confucianism, the 3 bonds and the 5 relationships. First, there's the king. These 5 relationships and the 3 bonds tells you about the relationships about the king and the officials, parents and their kids, wife and husbands, adult and child, and the friends. This tells you about the kind of like the orders and with these relationships. King and officials should trust each other. Kids should respect their parents. A wife and husband should respect each other. And child should respect adults. And friends should have to trust each other. And because of this, lots of cultures and customs had appeared during the Joseon dynasty with these basics. This is a book called Samgang Sinchildo, which is a book that tells you about the Confucianism things. And as you can see there, there's a picture. This is drawn for the commoners who could not read the Chinese languages. The Chinese language was the official language during the Joseon dynasty. So in order to teach this kind of like filial duties and kind of things, this was written and also drawn as a picture to teach them. This is the social classes during the Joseon dynasty. The most below is the servants who are treated as a kind of like a private things for the nobleman, which is on the top. And there's the commoner, and there's the middle class, and there's the nobleman. Because of this Confucianism idea, social classes were divided very strictly. And please remember that, because I am going to introduce
many like goods or products. They were moving each other, and they will just like have some commercing events or like commerce systems. So actually, we need to see the location of the Unjongga, where it was located. So when we just like see the Susamjeondo, the map, here was the location of the Unjongga. So this one, it was like kind of near to the Yukjogori, which was like kind of 6 ministries during the Joseon dynasty. So I will compare this one after this slide. And this was like kind of Unjongga's like place and the appearance. Like kind of, you could see that the markets are just like placed like kind of arranged on the street. So when they passed, when they crossed the street, you could see all of the markets, they just like sell different things. So let's compare with the 6 Ministry Street. So actually it's like kind of similar structure like Yukjogori, it was like kind of the street of 6 ministries. So when we just like crossed the street, we could see all of the markets like in Unjongga and like all of the ministries, like 6 ministries when we walked to the street. But like there, the rule was different. Like Yukjogori, the 6 ministries, they just like do some politics and debated each other for like all of the different parts. And the Unjongga, it was kind of a big commerce system. So the Yukjogori and like commerce system, Unjongga was different from these 2 options. So next one is the agriculture and commercial of Joseon Dynasty. So during the Joseon Dynasty, the government just like provided some environments that like the farmers could get some agriculture, and they just like thought that agriculture was important than commercial. So actually, when the rain doesn't comes, like they just pray to the rain's god, and like the king will go to like kind of shrine or like kind of place there the king pray, and like they will just like please God, give me a rain like this. And so they just like exchange in minimum supplies, not like the major supplies. The major supplies went to the palace, just the minimum supplies which were necessary for their life. They just like exchange it in the commercial environments. And next one is delivering the supplies to Hanyang was the original function of this Unjongga. So Unjongga, there were many locals around the Hanyang, like there were many places that the people lived, but there were like kind of special products that we can just like harvest or get from the special local. So these products went to the capital city Hanyang, and they moved these products. Next one is Joseon Dynasty and nowadays. So actually, we just like think of the market that is kind of displaying some goods or like displaying some supplies. But like during the Joseon Dynasty, they didn't display the goods. So can you imagine why did they like do it like this? Because like during the Joseon Dynasty, there was a kind of job that like makes people induced to the store. Like they will just like go to the street and just like meet some people and hey, there is a new product in our store, and like he will go to the market, like his market, like he is kind of a worker in the market, and he will meet the people and induce the people inside of the market. So this was the special feature of the Joseon Dynasty market, and there were unlicensed and licensed market like similar with today nowadays, but like there was a kind of right. The licensed market can manage the unlicensed market. So this was very like when we just think of today's lens, like we just like think that licensed market is very good and unlicensed market is not good. But like during the Joseon Dynasty, when there is the latest Joseon period, they just thought that licensed market and licensed market should be all fair in the environment, because like when we just like think of licensed market, licensed market, they need to live each other, and the economy will be grown up when they are existing. The next one is the dispersion of the market in the Joseon period, and it was a kind of local market, but like it was kind of Unjongga, the capital city market, but they just like dispersed in everywhere. So not in Hanyang, like all of the markets developed after when they go to latest Joseon period.
I said there are lots of seasons in Unjongga on both ways of the streets, and there were lots of kinds as he already introduced, but I'll tell you guys about the name and the actual objects that sold in that market. First is Samijong, it sold rice. And Jokpojong, they sold rami and it's kind of clothes. Sonjong, they sold imported silk. And in Emurjong, they sold fish. Seohaejong, they sold straw shoes. Myeongjujong, they sold domestic silk. In Myeongpojong, they sold cotton. In Jijong, they sold paper. In Sangjeong, they sold miscellaneous goods. These are just usual objects or necessities that people usually use in houses. And Dojajan is a place where they sold jewelry. And Iljeon, they sold shoes. And Yakjeon, they sold medicine. And this is Yugijeon, and Yugijeon is the center store in Unjongga. There are lots of Shijons and Nanjons in Unjongga, and there are mainly very important places in Unjongga, and that's called Yugijeon. In Yugijeon, there are 6 major stores, which sells domestic silk, cotton and silver, rame, imported silk.
Interesting things about Uzbekistan. So let's get started. First of all, who am I? Let me introduce myself. Like, it's better to know who am I, and then we will go on. So I've been living in Korea for about 2 years. I studied my bachelor's in Uzbekistan, and then I came here to study international business, international commerce, international trade, whatever you call. I am studying in some of the Korean universities. So I used to work in a couple of places to find a globes, and I have a community now. You know what is community? Community means if you go to US, if you go to some UK or somewhere, there's Korean students, right? Korean people living, working. So if you gather them, work together, if you do things together, it's like community. Korean community in Australia, for example. You know what I mean? And then I saw you guys and I was impressed. I always thought that if we empower youth, young people like you, like me, like our friend Alex is helping a lot to learn, right? You are the future. So my goal is like always empower the youth. And let's go. Uzbekistan. So this is the world map, globe, and Uzbekistan is located in this red place. And here is Korea. Here is like, which country is this?
China.
China. And what about this? Mongol. Wow. And then this? Russia. So this, Kazakhstan, and then we'll go down, and here we are. So the flight takes 6 hours from here to Uzbekistan. It's okay to go general, right? Like nothing special. And then in Uzbekistan, about 33 million people. And how many people in Korea live? The number of Korean population.
15.
Over 50 million, right? So more than us. And we have 4 seasons like Korea, and we speak, as she said, not English, not Korean, but Russian, some parts, and Uzbek. Like, we were part of Russia before, like we were independent, Russia invaded us, like not Russia, but old, like Soviet Union it's called. And then we became independent in 1991. At the moment we're independent, we speak Uzbek and we have our currency. So what is Korean currency? Do you know what is currency? The currency of the United States is dollar. How about Korea?
There are several parts of the country, like Incheon or Seoul, Gangwon-do. Each places have their own cultural meanings, and they try to stand that out into the country. And let's say I'm from Incheon, so let's say I went to Gangwon-do and they have another culture. Of course, we share the same language and most general cultures, but we actually still have special cultures in their body. So I was wondering if the people from your country have that also, and if the government is trying to, make them stand out to other people.
So very great question, and I will try to answer this question with this map. So if you see, this is the shape of Uzbekistan map. It's like very long. and then we call it like northern side and southern side. Southern side and northern side has very different culture. Like this one is influenced by this area, and this one is influenced more by Russia. This kind of. And every culture is unique. For example, I heard Seoul has different dialect than Busan. In Busan, people speak kind of different Korean, right? If I learn Korean and go to Busan and talk to someone, I don't understand them. Is it true?
Well, it's not like,
Yeah,
sometimes there
yeah.
are.
So we also have this kind of language, this kind of dialects in every region and different cultures. So it's good to promote each area with its unique cultural differences. So we also have this kind of thing. For example, government organizes lots of festivals in different areas, or they try to attract different kind of tourists. For example, for this area, they want to attract tourists for this kind of sea or open, say natural, environmental tourism. And then for this area, it's like a cultural, and this area for food and stuff. So we have very similar policies or efforts to promote each area with its unique treats that stands out. Hope I could answer your question.
Yeah.
And next, you.
Yes. Like, did Uzbekistan had a relationship between like Joseon or any other past countries which was in Korea Peninsula, like Korea?
In the past.
Yeah.
So I would say very good question. Yes. So here, you see the Tashkent side, right? A bit above the Tashkent, there is some mountains areas. They do some archaeological researches in this area. Like I think few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, they found some artifacts in the ground when they were researching. They found some kind of tools or coins or something related to Korean Peninsula. And it dates back to 500 to 700 years, where Joseon dynasty was ruling this Korean Peninsula. That says to us that these areas, like modern Uzbekistan and Korea, have trade relations, economic, and this kind of cultural things that they shared in the past as well. Yes. And next question. You would like to ask?
Do you have any historically important building or movement in Korea?
Wow, very good question. So, whenever I would like to talk about Uzbekistan, first thing we will share is this Registan Square. Registan Square is a kind of equivalent place or building or landmark like Gyeongbokgung. Like kings have lived in this area, and these things were schools before. All these modern knowledges we are reading was made by these scholars living in these buildings, and then it translated to English or some other Spanish languages or to Arabic, and then we are learning it. So I would say this Registan Square is a place that I could say similar to Gyeongbokgung. And next question.
Actually, I learned about kind of architecture in school, and I was curious about like kind of Uzbekistan's like architecture style. So when there was like kind of modernization, like kind of all the countries like they selected like kind of landmarks in each country. So like for example in Paris we could just like think about Eiffel Tower or like landmark. So do you have like in Uzbekistan like if you choose like a landmark?
Hi, Bravo. We invite you to Korea.